Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Psychics TV and your fortnightly edition of Collective Consciousness, streaming live to you via YouTube and Facebook. Great to have your company here this evening. As always, please do let us know who you are, where you're watching from, whether or not you're a regular, or indeed if you are a first-time viewer. It would be lovely to give you a shout out. Now, as I've just mentioned, we are streaming live via Facebook and YouTube. So there is approximately a 10 to 15 second time delay when you place your comments to us receiving and vice versa. So patience on both sides here is very much appreciated this evening. Now, for those new viewers that are maybe joining for the first time here this evening, good evening and welcome to you. Let me tell you a little bit about the show. Collective Consciousness is a show that is purely dedicated to mediumship. But it's not just myself that will be delivering messages. The show brings on a guest medium every 2 weeks, and I'll be introducing my guest medium in a short while too. And the purpose of the aim of the show really is for two mediums that could be on a completely different spectrum, whether that be globally or dynamically up and down within the UK and so forth. It's for us to conjoin our minds with our spirit communicators to work with one of you as a recipient, to deliver you a message from your loved ones, your past relatives, family and friends in the spirit realms. So how exciting is that? So before we get things started here this evening, I'm just going to say a few hellos to some of the lovelies that are joining, because I can see that you're already popping your comments up there, guys. So first of all, we've got the lovely Millie B, who joins us via YouTube this evening, saying hi, Richard, Bill and Susan. Good evening to you, Millie, and thank you so much for holding space this evening. We've also got the lovely Terry Louise, who says, good evening, Bill, Susan and Richard. Good evening to you, Terry. We've got Matthew Lintott, who is watching from Sussex in the UK. Well, thank you for joining, Matthew. Jane QC is saying, evening, Bill. Good evening to you, Jane, and you're watching via Facebook this evening. Great to have your company. Stacey's also watching by YouTube, saying hello there to you too, Stacey. Don't forget, guys, do share us out there. If you're watching by Facebook, it's really easy to do. Just hit that share button, that little arrow icon just underneath the screen at this present moment in time, and share us out there to all of your Facebook pages, spiritual Facebook pages as well, that you may feel this show is of relevance to. I don't want to end up in Bridget's laundrette, as I have done in the past. Thank you very much. We've got Margaret O'Brien, who's saying hi, Richard, Bill and Susan, watching via YouTube, as well as Maya Z from Switzerland, and a first time here. So very, very warm welcome to you, Maya. Thank you so much for holding space. And I'm going to bring in our guest medium and introduce her to you all here this evening. So over to you, Producer Richard, to do your magic.
Oh.
And
well, here I am. Oh, I came in on a firework. I'm great. It's great to be here.
So, thank you, Susan. It's lovely to have you
here.
You're welcome. And to be able to work in your energies. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself at home that may be watching and haven't seen you before. So tell us all about yourself.
Okay, well, I'm Irish. I live in Dublin, lived here all my life, and I doubt that I'll leave my homeland to go to another place, unless it's Lanzarote. Maybe Lanzarote, but other than that, no. I'm a spiritual medium. I'm a spiritualist. So I work as a medium full time, and I am a spiritual tutor as well. So I teach lessons and classes people how to become medium and psychic. I love my psychic work, I got to tell you. I love it because that's about the soul of us, isn't it? The soul of us.
Absolutely.
And really about us understanding, I include us, Bill, us understanding that we have to move beyond ourselves to live that more fulfilling space, fill it bigger, you know. Yeah, and I don't mean eat 10 donuts. That's not the kind of big I'm talking about. Although if you want to, go ahead.
I think we're going to be in for a bit of a crack here tonight with you and your bundle of energy that you're bringing with you. Now, we first met when we were doing an online service for the Nothing Fancy Spiritualist
Yes,
Church.
yes.
And
I work a lot with them. Yes.
you do, absolutely. And I suppose in a way that was Spirit's way of drawing us together, bringing us together. And
Correct,
obviously here we are this evening. It's made it happen, which is absolutely fantastic. Because although we were brought together, it was only for discussion, wasn't it? So we've not worked mediumistically.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't. And it was interesting that the nothing in here in Ireland, we have lots of churches, but we don't have spiritualist churches. We do have people who use centers and things like that. So I discovered the Nothing Fancy during the pandemic. So the pandemic for people such as us, Bill, has been very assistive in helping us get our message, the message we wish to share over. And you have a button, you can switch it on or switch it off, so you can listen or not listen. So those discussions that Ben organized, they were brilliant, and it was good because people were wondering, because our surnames are the same. Now you obviously have that all your life. I don't. My name is Susan Brothwood, you see, and that's my marriage name. So you can have. I'll give you that. The Hughes can be yours.
Well, thank you very much.
I've only borrowed it.
It's funny that you should say with regards to the pandemic, because this is what the channel really done throughout those times. We brought so much message, comfort, guidance, however it is that the viewers perceived it. It was a fantastic way of reaching people, and it still is to this day. And we're very fortunate here at SPTV. We've got a fantastic community base.
Wonderful.
And you'll probably see as the comments are scrolling later on throughout the show that everybody just has a chat with one another, and they're really encouraging for people that do get a message. So that's really lovely to see.
Lovely. That's really community, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Nobody's a stranger. Anybody that comes on to the channel and watches any one of the shows here, they might enter as a stranger, but they always leave as a friend. So that's a really lovely.
That's so nice. That's so nice.
Absolutely. So where can people find you on Facebook? Should they want to look at your page?
On Facebook, it's Susan Hughes Spiritual Medium. That's my business page. Yeah. And I have a website, susanhughesmedium.com. So
perfect. And I believe that Richard will be putting on the graphics on the screen for anybody that's watching.
Lovely.
The link to your page. Should anybody wish to check Susan's Facebook page out? You
can check my Facebook out as much as you like. And if there is a question, you can ask me a question. I'm easily accessed through private messenger. So yeah.
Perfect. Well, shall we say a few hellos to some of the lovelies that are joining us here this evening?
We shall.
Good. Well, as you're the guest, I'm going to hand over to you to do the first acknowledgement.
Okay, Tracy Honey, good evening. What a great name, Tracy Honey, watching on YouTube.
Absolutely. We've got June Malkin, who also watches via YouTube, saying good evening, Bill and everyone. Evening to you, June.
Hello. Pamela Watson on Facebook. Oh, Australia. Wow. New South Wales.
Good morning.
Oh, she shared you out, Bill. She shared you.
How lovely.
Thank you, Pamela.
I love sharing. We've got CR Bowles 56. Sue is my name. Watching by YouTube.
Name.
Sue, you are welcome. Thank you for being here and holding space with us, my lovely.
Okay, Donnie Taylor with all our lovely, their little birdies and hearts watching on YouTube. Thank you, darling.
Kath Lithgow is watching via YouTube, saying hi, everyone. Hi there to you, Kath.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
How are you? Angela Williamson on Facebook. Thank you for watching, Angela. And yes, all is well, and we hope all is well with you too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Debbie Chard, good evening, she's saying, and she's watching via Facebook. Well, good evening to you, Debbie. Thank you for holding space and being here with us. And happy birthday.
Ooh,
I'm just
happy
being told.
birthday
Happy birthday
to you. Do Marilyn on it. Happy birthday. Kerry Farmer. Now, are you Irish? Kerry Farman. down in Kerry, County Kerry, watching on Facebook, Kerry. Good evening.
Absolutely, good evening. And we've got Anne McClellan, who is saying good evening, Bill, and Richard watching via Facebook. That's a lovely profile picture, isn't it, with those beautiful clouds in the background there.
And Dolly Little, good old Sussex by the sea. I actually don't know Sussex at all. Well, I'm Irish, so I haven't been to Sussex at all. I believe it's beautiful.
It is. It's a lovely coastline, really, really beautiful. So many different beaches there to visit. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got the lovely Heavenly Sprinkles, aka Claire Pasterfield, who is a presenter on the channel here, Susan.
Oh, lovely.
And she's saying, good evening, Bill and Richard, and all shared out. God bless you, Claire. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. And Paul Marfleet, good evening to Bill, Susan, and all watching. Lovely picture there of Inner Peace. He's watching on Facebook.
Absolutely. Along with Tracy Foster on Facebook, who just pops in a purple love heart. God bless you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Holding space.
Thank you. And Fiona Rosen on Facebook. Thank you for watching. Oh, this is very colourful. Hearts and prayers.
Absolutely. And we've got Marion Claiborne, who watches via Facebook, saying evening all from Norfolk. Good evening to you, Marion.
Very nice. Wendy Watson, how are you doing, Wendy? Thank you for watching us from Facebook.
It's lovely. And finally, we've got Sarah Burston watching via Facebook, saying good evening. Well, good evening to you.
Good evening, Sarah.
Thank you for holding space.
Oh, Bonnie Scotland, Adele Cameron. Thank you for being here, Adele.
Absolutely. Oh, and we've got Caroline Kenny saying hi from Ireland there. Susan.
Come on, the Irish. Hello, Caroline.
God bless you guys. We'll do a few more acknowledgements as we go through the process of this evening. But for now, I think we should maybe try to make a few links. What do you think, Susan? Just before we start going into our mediumship demonstration here this evening, guys, something really important just to share with you. Some of you will know this already, but we have somebody who is posing to be Spiritual Psychics TV. They are a scammer and they're messaging people direct. If you should receive a message direct from Spiritual Psychics TV, please do know that we would never, ever, ever contact anybody in any shape or form asking you to part with money, to like or follow, or to do anything else. Anything that we do to reach out to you is done via these live streams, and that's it. If you need to make contact with us, you can do so by visiting our Facebook page, or indeed you can go online to Spiritual Psychics TV. There are links on both social media platforms where you are able to send messages and we will respond in that way. But we would never, ever make direct contact initially. So should you be ever contacted in any way, shape or form, please do report and block. Thank you very much for listening and God bless you all. And we've got lovely Christine Davies who's just popping in to say good evening, everyone. Good evening to you too, Christine. Okay, Richard. Yep. Wow, we are only 40 away from reaching 10,000 likes.
Wow,
how amazing is that?
Yeah.
So please do, guys, during this live broadcast, tag a friend, tag a family member, share us out there. Let's see if we can achieve those additional 40 through this evening's show. So very much appreciated and God bless each and every one of you. Now, Susan, as I explained to you, what producer Richard will do, the comments that we get on our screen with regards to people's names and their message, they will be randomized now. And what we're going to do is go to who it is that we feel that we're drawn to. So it's really important for you guys at home to make sure that you're placing your comments up so that it keeps the consistency of the messages rolling. And should myself or Susan be drawn to any one of you in particular, we'll tell producer Richard your name so he stops on you. And then we will go with what it is that we're feeling, sensing, hearing, tasting, touching, whatever it is that Spirit want to do with us, we will go with the flow. How does that sound, Susan?
Sounds wonderful, Bill. I'm going to follow your lead, as I said, but I will be right behind you.
Randomised as we talk.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got lovely Dawny, we've got Shazza. We've got Matthew Lintott, Kim Byrne, Joanne Lewis. Do you know, I feel drawn to lovely Joanne Lewis at
Yeah,
this moment in
I
time.
agree with you. I agree with you.
Good. Do you know what I'm getting straight away here, Susan? I'm getting a masculine energy that just pulls and draws himself a little bit closer to me here this evening. And he stands on my paternal side. So he stands on the understanding that I want to be working on Dad's side of the family. So if I'm not with Dad here, Joanne, I would definitely be with Dad's. Dad, you would understand. Now, this gentleman, as he starts to present and give me an idea of himself. And did you notice I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied there? So I need to acknowledge that there must have been some type of significance with him, God love him, with regards to there being issues of getting words out or being a little bit tongue-tied. Whether or not that was evident all throughout his life or towards the back end of it before he crossed over to spirit, I'm not quite sure, but I'm acknowledging that. Anyways, as he stands here beside me and he just makes himself a little bit more evident, I want to come in on my frame with him. I know that he fits into me. He doesn't fit outside of me. So he was a smaller framed gentleman. I do feel as though I'm quite tall in height, but again, he makes me understand that he just falls below my height. So I'm 6 foot when standing. I know he would be about 4 or 5 inches off of me, God love him. He does show me quite patchy, wispy hair on his head. I don't want it to be long. I know it's short, and I do have a greying colour that is just starting to present itself. And you're saying, Grandad, thank you, my darling.
Yep.
You would also understand with him as well, please, Joanne. And again, Susan, if you're pulling into this and you get a sense of it, then you know, just make sure that you come in on it.
I will.
I do get a great sense with him that he does want to place fatigue on me, and that's always a trigger. As anybody that knows who watches me, that is a trigger for me to understand that there would have been a process building up to his passing before he made his journey back home. I'm not instantaneous with this gentleman. However, he does make me feel as though I'm being drawn into wanting to understand that there was some type of intolerance or there was some type of issue with regards to eating, because I don't feel that I can consume, you would understand. So again, I need to acknowledge that I'm going into my tummy area, that there would have been issues in and around my tummy area with him, again, prior to him making his journey back home there. I want to be a little bit softer spoken as well, because he just wants to change the dynamics and the tone of my voice as he starts to blend that little bit closer here with me this evening, God love him. But he also does make my heart start to race as well, as he just starts to impression upon me, God love him. So I know that I've got heart issues around Grandad as well there, Joanne, that he just wants to bring into the forefront of my mind. He takes me into March as I'm going through the calendar months of the year within my mind. So I know that March must stand out as a month of significance with birthday, anniversary, or passing. A very humble gentleman, very humble beginnings. Yes, he was tallish. Thank you, my lovely. Very humble beginnings. I know with him that I have, in my mind, yes, he had issues just before he passed. Thank you, my darling. I know that he just places within my mind a wardrobe, and he's showing me his wardrobe, but I've got a minimalistic amount of clothing in there. He wasn't one, he makes me understand, Joanne, you would relate to with regards to being extravagant, with regards to wanting an elaborance of clothing. He was quite simplistic in the fact that he liked a minimal amount of, and not just within the clothing, you would also understand, he was softly spoken but very firm. Thank you, my lovely. A very minimalistic individual. I do know as well, God love him, that there must be some type of continuity with regards to there being consistency throughout my day. So I know that my days had to be planned, or indeed he's taken my mind to understanding that his days would have had to have been planned for him.
Do I just jump in and interrupt you, or do I wait?
What I was going to say was, that's what I'm getting so far. I'm just going to hand over to you.
I was thinking, Bill likes the sound of his own voice there, doesn't he? It's his show, so don't throw me
over to you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I agree with everything you've said there, and as I'm still dealing with him, my stomach, he really had those stomach issues, whatever it was, affected him. But with you were speaking about the minimalist, he disliked fuss, didn't like fuss, but yeah, he fussed over people, didn't like the fuss upon himself. Now, when you were speaking about the speech, I got ears as well, and head and eyes. So there are a lot of things happened. It was like he just fell apart near the end. It's just everything just fell apart. But this is a man of great pride, a man of great honor. And this is the kind of man, he gives his word and he stands by it. And he's a long memory, hasn't he, Bill? He remembers things. It might be 50 years ago, but I still remember it. Very forgiving man. I'm not placing a religion upon him, but I place that spiritual sense upon him. Very open to other people's ideas, but yet this is my idea and I'm sticking with it. So he knew himself, didn't he, Bill? And Joanne, of course, he knew himself well. Now, what I did hear also was music in the background, and I love when I hear that. A lot of music in the background. So, and I know in his more supple days, he would have. I know there was issues with his legs as well. That bothered him. That really annoyed him that he aged in this way, didn't it, Bill? It really annoyed him. He was so independent, is still. But he loved that dancing, and a groover. That's what I want to call him, a groover. He grooves into this music, and I know with the hearing that bothered him as well, having to repeat and things. But the family, I also just wanted to mention right at the very beginning when you were blending with this man, I got a baby that's also on spirit side with him. I don't know if you sense that too. And this belongs to the family as well. So there's a baby that's been acknowledged on spirit side. And you mentioned the start of the year, and I want to go around autumn time, August, September as well, as being relevant to that. So I like this man. He's funny. You'd get a great bit of crack out of him. No big alcohol or anything. He didn't need to take anything else other than the joy of life.
Absolutely.
Loved the sunny days. Couldn't do the cold rain. Couldn't. It was just woeful here today and yesterday, windy and rainy. So he just loved the sunny days and getting out. And I know near the end of his human existence, he'd be looking out the window at people, just peering out the window and watching and just wishing. He was a wishful man as well, wasn't he? A wishful man. Yeah, a man of honor. I really have to say that, a man of honor.
How lovely. The other thing that I was picking up as well, Susan, I don't know if you was getting it, but he was giving me an understanding about there being a dryness to his skin, because he was almost showing me like a discoloration that was happening on his skin. So he wasn't one, Joanne, I need to say, who was up to making sure he was keeping himself very well moisturized, you would understand. And he also makes me feel and understand that there would have been those calluses that just sat present across the palms of his hands. So again, I acknowledge with him,
hard-working hands.
He would have been a hard worker, absolutely. Manual by no means least. But
clean,
as you say, a beautiful soul.
Clean
dirt. A beautiful
hard
soul.
work.
Yeah. I also feel as though I like a bit of a cap with this gentleman. I want to be quite classic within the way that he presents himself here as well. He wouldn't have been a casual dresser by any means. It would have been a proper pressed long sleeve shirt with his trousers. And I also feel that there would have been the significance of him liking his jackets, but the jackets that would tie into the trousers and the shirt, not an overcoat style of jacket. Yes, he was always up the allotment summertime. That was good for him. Absolutely wonderful. So that's what I'm getting from him here, Susan.
Sunday best, I think, is what I was sensing when you were speaking there. Sunday best. He had a Sunday best. The rest of the time he was clean, casual, but Sunday best was a Sunday best. Yeah.
Absolutely. God love him. So before we send him back off up to the angels, shall we see if we can get a parting gift, or if he's got any sense of a message that he wants to leave with Joanne here this evening?
Well, I know that she has mentioned his allotment, and he had patience. You see, he had patience that he would plant things and nurture them, and allow them to grow in their own time. And I feel for you, Joanne, this is what he brings to you. Those seeds we plant, be patient with them and allow them to be nurtured in their own time. And I speak of you because you can be very harsh on yourself and push yourself too much. I feel he's saying, take a time, be with that ideal nature has. We just grow in our own space, in our own time, and don't be pushed. Yeah.
Absolutely. How lovely. And Joanne's just giving some feedback saying, yes, he
Yes,
was a
Sunday
Sunday
best.
best person. Absolutely. The gift that he places within my mind, he draws me to Joanne's profile picture there. I can see that she's got some type of beautiful headscarf um, in the image. But what he wants to do is he wants to take a sparkly diamante, almost like a pinned brooch that ladies would wear, the pin type. But
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to place this, I want to place this in the center as a centerpiece of her head wearing. So, Joanne, I don't know if this is something that you've been thinking of doing, but something that you've been looking at that you want to invest in. But I certainly feel as though I want to say, go for it. So there must be something new that's going on around headwear with you at this moment in time that you're toying with the ID or you've just invested in. And he leaves that as your gift as we send him on his way back up there to the angels.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Wonderful. So thank you for allowing myself and Susan to work with you. And God bless you, my darling.
What a
How
lovely
was that,
man.
Susan? He
He's
was
a
so
lovely
lovely, wasn't he?
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
lovely, lovely man. Lovely gentleness about him. For a man who
beautiful
had to
lady.
work so hard in his life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, bless him.
Mm.
Okay, right. So shall we get these comments randomised again and see where
Sure,
it is
let's
that we feel
far away,
drawn
far
to?
away, far
And
away,
again, if there's
far
anyone that you feel drawn in particular before myself, then please do call out and we'll go with the flow. So
can we go back to 2 or 3 before that? Is that possible? No. Uh, this girl here, Kerry. What do you
Kerry
sense
McDonald.
about that? Yeah.
Okay.
I just felt grandmother as I just felt an elderly female approach me as her name was there, and this lady was quite frail and she had very bony hands, you see. So, but that's obviously how she was before she passed, and I feel this is the eye of an eagle. I say this time sometimes people who age don't all lose their sight. And she didn't lose her mind either. She had the eye of an eagle and she could see everything that was going on with her. I feel she was a bit of a hoarder though, Kerry. She kept a lot of what she called memorabilia and other people call rubbish, but isn't that the way of life? And I just know, I just feel that this chest of mine gave, I think the heart gave in the end. I feel that I wondered also as I do this, did she suffer with angina before that? Because I'm getting those feelings and down my arm. So I know this was an ongoing condition, but it went in the end. And she loved getting her hair done. So she's a lady, and I just feel her to be elderly but so beautiful. But she loved getting her hair done and dolling herself up. Isn't that wonderful that that life still, this beautiful, youthful woman just kept living her life and she wouldn't be told. God, she's a stubborn lady. My God, isn't she? No, no, no. I no, no, no. Now I wonder because Kerry, is your name Scottish? Because I kind of wanted to put on a Scottish accent there. Do you know, like Mrs. Doubtfire in that film? That's the kind of sound I heard. Um, yeah, and
Yes,
so
dear.
yeah, that kind of thing. And I just feel with her that an amazingly talented lady, loved to hum and sing while she was pottering around doing things. I tell you, this lady could cook up a storm in the kitchen. cook up a storm in the kitchen. We'd go in and we couldn't find anything, and suddenly she'd go in and there's a meal for 10 people. But I particularly like a meat pie of some kind. It says pastry, and I'm sure it's a meat and potato pie. Get that into you, it's good for you. So all right, Kerry, because I just wondered with that name and then hearing Mrs. Doubtfire in my ear. Sorry, Richard, I'm not calling you Mrs. Doubtfire, so don't worry about that. And I just feel, and I love her sense of humor and her sense of giddiness. It's like she always maintained that childlike giddiness, and she just she brings a lot of joy to me, Kerry. And I know the memory of her brings it too. Now she's a tough cookie too. I wouldn't cross her too quickly. I would be wanting to hold her hand and not be slapped by it, because because even though she's a very loving lady, she was tough love as well at the same time. And she still is. And she says, well, I have no need to change, so she's stuck in that way. Now, I also know, because I'm beginning to see it, I think it's like a piece of pottery or an ornament of some kind that belonged to her. It's pale bluish. I feel this is what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. And I wonder, Kerry, if you have it or if it's in the family, because that was a cherished piece. She loved her flowers in the vase, didn't she? She loved the flowers, because my eye just caught a vase there, and she just loved filling these flowers in, and couldn't always get them. She didn't always have the money to get them, so she loved being gifted flowers. And I feel also December is a time of remembrance around her, and please buy her flowers. That's it. And when you buy this lovely lady flowers, you put them in your vase as a friendship and a remembrance, so you can sit together with them. Yeah, she's lovely, very generous lady. What do you think?
She's very generous. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've really brought the essence of her into all of our rooms. For me, I've been getting a few bits of information that she's been dropping into my mind, as well as you acknowledging Scottish links. I keep getting the Welsh flag being flashed out within my mind.
Good.
So I know that there must be Welsh connections that tie into the bloodline of the family here as well, that she's just making evident and me wanting to present here to Kerry. You said about this sense of her being a very strong lady who you wouldn't want to cross. Now, I feel at this moment in time that I want to just scoop some of that up, and I want to drop that into Kerry's lap right now. Because I feel that, Kerry, at this moment in time, we've really got to dig in deep to find our backbone, my lovely. And you're saying, yes, in the family. That's perfect. That must be to the Welsh links as well. You would understand about having to dig a little bit deeper, making sure that you stand firm within your backbone. Okay, I feel as though I just need to go down a generation below you with regards to there being some type of resilience of them not wanting to make change, you would understand. I don't know what change it is. She's just talking to me about them being very, very, again, like she, stuck in her ways, and they're not wanting to be so much of this change. But you know what's best. You know what's right, she's making me understand here. So you've got to stand firm by those truths and those beliefs. And it's playing out on my heartstrings. She just says to me, it's playing out on my heartstrings. So I know this must be connected to you, lovely Kerry, at this moment in time, where we're having the heartstrings tugged because we're feeling as though we're torn. We're in a position where we're trying to please too many. And she's just saying to me, God love her, you've got to do what's right for you, because at the end of the day, you are the predominance with regards to making the decision. So I don't know if you're standing alone. She's making me feel as though you may be standing alone, or you feel as though you're standing alone, but follow what this is telling you, the gut, the first brain. This is the second one. This is the conscious mind. Follow what that tummy is telling you to do moving forward there, my lovely. I also know that she wants to take me to September as well. She wants to stop me in and around the 18th. So I know that there must be some type of significance with a birthday, anniversary or passing that would connect in September. And whether or not it falls on the 18th, yes, you can relate, perfect. Whether it falls on the 18th of September or indeed she's pulling it out as a separate entity here as well, I'm going to leave those with you. I'm just going to hand back over to Susan to see if there's anything else that you've maybe got that you'd like to leave with Kerry as a parting gift before we send her lovely granny up to the angels.
Granny brings me this sense of family, this sense of a large family, a lot of people. And even if you're not blood, you're family. So I wonder, as she brings this to my consciousness and my awareness, is she saying to you, Kerry, you know, I say this myself, blood is thicker than water. It's a scientific fact. But, you know, sometimes we need water more than blood. And so I feel she's saying, again, like Bill said, stand in your own power, stand in your own instinctual soul place. And if you're having issues with anyone, it doesn't matter if it's family or friend, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. Rely on your friends. You have a couple of really good friends, and so rely on your friends. And I, you know, I kind of want to fist bump, you know, this thing. So she this elderly modern lady, you know, she kind of gets she wants to be with you, Kerry. That's what I'm saying. And so she's letting you know she is. Stand in your own ground. The issue is not as big as you think it is. She's assisting and helping. Yeah.
Lovely. So Kerry, I hope you can take some comfort from that message. And once again, thank you for allowing myself and Susan to bring that message through from your lovely grandmother. God bless you. Thank you so much. How lovely was that, Susan? Another nice connection there.
Very nice. Yeah,
very lovely. Right,
yeah,
and
cool.
guys, don't forget to share us out there. If you've just joined the show here this evening, welcome to Collective Consciousness, a fortnightly edition, streamed live here on Spiritual Psychics TV, a platform uniting two mediums together where we combine our spiritual minds to bring messages through from your past loved ones, family and friends. So please do keep sharing us out there, guys, and don't forget to tag family and friends. Going to be drawn soon. Say that again. Oh, sorry, I froze. Oh, crikey. Let's hope
it's the weather. It's the weather.
It's the weather. Yeah, we'll put it down to that, Susan.
Turn that heating back on.
Right, who else have we got with us, Richard? Right, we've got lovely Wayne Leon. Wayne was on the show a few weeks back, actually, Susan.
Hey, Wayne. How are you?
How are you, Wayne? Good evening to you, my friend. Sharon Brown. Matthew Lintott. Oh, you said that really well, because I would have got completely tongue-tied with that surname. Gemma Cassell. Do you know what? I would like to go back to the lovely Wayne Armand.
Oh, okay.
Very seldom that us mediums get messages.
That is very
ourselves.
True. Yeah.
And Wayne is a fantastic ambassador for spirit. He's always doing something. But I just got a great sense of me just wanting to be drawn back to him. I've got a gentleman that just steps forward here with a very strong presence as he comes forward. And it's almost like he wants to acknowledge you, Wayne, here as by saying, all right, lad. All right, lad. So I don't know if this would have been terminology that he used with you. I do feel very paternal with him. I don't know if Dad's in spirit. You can take him as Dad, or indeed, if you can't take his dad, I want to stay on Dad's side of the family there. Somebody that would have very much have been like a fatherly role to you. But as he steps forward with this great sense of energy, this great sense of power, he makes me feel at this moment in time, Wayne, that I want to wrap you up in this. He makes me understand, and again, it's a public platform, I won't go into this too deep, but he makes me understand at this moment in time, you can really do with it. I feel that I need to acknowledge that you've gone really through the mill, my friend, okay? But you've come out the other side because you've still found your own inner sense of strength. You've dug deep. You've had to dig deep, you would understand. No response. Wayne, if you're still here, do let us know, please, my friend, because I don't want to be talking to your loved one if you're not here. So please do place a comment up and let us know that you're still here, my friend. Sometimes people just nip on, Susan, and then
That's
they
correct.
nip
Yeah,
off and then come back. But if that's the
that's
case,
fine. Yeah.
I can always take this message up and send it on to Wayne if he makes contact with me, should he not be here this
No
evening, which
problem.
is a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
So just give him a few seconds, because as we know, we do have a slight time delay when we're streaming live via Facebook and YouTube there. But Wayne, if you're watching this on playback, then please do send me a message, my friend, and I'll gladly relay what it is that I've understood here this evening for you at another time. So we'll move on, Susan, sadly.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll get Richard just to continue to scroll the comments. That's a shame. I really felt
Yeah.
like Wayne, I really felt he needed that as well. God love him. I really felt he needed that.
Well,
Okay.
it's sent, the thing about it is, and I understand, it's like absent healing, isn't it? It's sent anyway. It's, it's received anyway. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got the lovely Aileen Fado watching
Yeah.
by Facebook.
Lovely. Thank you, Aileen. DCJ. Okay. Hey, D.
Luana C. Hi there.
And Jade, more to life, Alan. Yes, there is more to life, Jade. Absolutely correct. Would love some spiritual guidance.
Hesval's also watching.
Okay, Margaret O'Brien.
Casey Tanner.
Will we stick with Cheryl? Will we stick with Cheryl? Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I believe I've a lady for Cheryl, but I'm not struggling as such, but I feel I'm going more on a sister friend link. Do you see? That's what I feel. This is a very nurturing person, and I know Cheryl was very close with her. So, and sometimes, like I was saying earlier on, blood is thicker than water, but sometimes our sisters are not blood, and I just feel a great closeness. And I actually feel that this poor lady passed over quite tragically. It was a serious ending to a beautiful life. That's what I want to say. And I know that as I say this, the lady brings to my mind that she struggled with herself when she was in this earthly presence. And Cheryl, I know you must at times, we all do, don't we? I feel that you must have had deep conversations with this girl. I call her a girl now, so I know you've known her for many years in your life. Just as I'm blending with her, just my shoulders, and I'm hunched, and I just feel that it is your daughter. I just feel that I'm in pain, and I'm hunched with this pain. So I feel that she wants you to know I'm without pain, and there must be a belief of angels in the house there, Cheryl. There must be a belief in heaven, as you call it, and a spirit side, as I call it. But this belief in angels, because she says, I am the angel now. I am the angel now. But I know it's very difficult for us when our loved ones cross over to forget the pain of that last phase, and she's trying to lift you out of that, Cheryl, to lift you the emotions. I mean, we'll never recover from the loss of our loved one, ever, but we learn to live with it. So you're doing your best at the moment. It's something's caught you there recently in the last few weeks. I don't know if it's this lovely girl's birthday that was just caught you, and you felt like you couldn't go on, or something happened there. But she's saying, but you're my rock. You're my rock. You're my rock, and let me be yours, because you were always there for me. She's a good girl. She's a good girl, and I mean, we're all good people, but she's a good girl who knew her own mind. So when she wanted to do something, she certainly did. That's what I want to say about her. She certainly did. Loved animals, because I see her with a dog. I also see her with a dog there. Loved the animals. I just want to scoot them up. And those of us who have animals, the love is unconditional, you see. And Yeah, this is what you said. She's recognizing that, Cheryl, that I was there with your mum, and there's also a particular scent that comes with your daughter when she visits you, which is a lot. But it's kind of I see twigs as well. So, and it's kind of like twigs with lights on them. That's I can't describe it. It's just twigs with lights on them, and it's just those fairy lights. She loved things like that, you see. And she's saying that sometimes they twinkle and they're not switched on, or there's something that twinkles. And she says, "Mum, it's me. I'm twinkling for you." So I just, what a beautiful, beautiful girl. And a tragic ending to a beautiful life is the only way I can put this. Yeah.
Yeah, a great sense of fragility that she places with me, but I don't want to just take that within to the physical. I do feel as though I need to acknowledge that within my mindset as well. Cheryl's saying she loved life, and yes, she had a dog.
Yeah.
Cheryl, what she's doing with me is she's taking me to a window. She's giving me a scenario within my mind where I'm seeing you go to a window, and you're looking out of this window, and you're just looking up into the sky, and you're holding those conversations with her. Know that these are being received at all times. Know that I hear you when you are doing so. And she just wraps a huge amount of love around me as she just brings that to my mindset. As you said, Susan, with regards to you getting an acknowledgement with the twigs that light up and there being some form of activity, I certainly know and tap into that as well, because she's all over my head at this moment in time. And that's my trigger with spirit, to identify that you would know that she's around you, Cheryl. You would sense this, you would feel this, you would understand this. And again, Susan picked up on that fragrance or that scent that she just wanted to bring to the forefront of information and discussion here with you this evening. You do talk to her and you asked her for a message tonight. Well, there you go, my darling. She was listening to you. Whilst I'm looking out of this window, however, Cheryl, I do need to say to you that I do get a great sense that there's something not quite right with the lock on it, because it's just making me feel that it needs tightening. There's a loose lock to this window, one particular window, and I feel as though I'm upstairs or I'm on a higher level, you would understand, because she doesn't want to keep me on the ground. She wants to elevate me as she places this information within my mindset there as well. You would also understand that she just takes my mindset to her daughter on earth at this moment in time. And again, she places within my mind a great sense of beauty with this young lady, a great sense of natural beauty. I feel as though I've got long, dark hair with her as well. And I want to be slimmed down in my frame. And the amount of pride, the sense of pride that she just brings forward to connect with her here this evening is, again, unconditional. Yes, Bill, the window upstairs is broken. Absolutely. I want that sorted then, you would understand there, my lovely. And can you also understand whether it was she or indeed it's the daughter that she's making reference to, that there would have been some type of skin eczema condition, please, because she just places that specifically on my arms and going into the crevices of my fingers at this moment in time. And she really wants me to kind of like oil myself up with one of those really rich oiling creams. So again, just dropping in little bits of information that I feel are relevant to connect here with you this evening. I want to go into February as well as a month of significance, birthday, anniversary or passing. She was very proud of her daughter, absolutely, and that still continues within the spiritual vein as well. So thank you for letting me work with you. I'm going to hand back over to Susan just to summarize your reading, and then we'll send it back up to the angels, my darling.
Yeah, I just really feel, Cheryl, that you're your daughter's rock. She relied upon you and you allowed it and permitted it, and you never made her feel lesser than. And she's so proud of you as a mother and obviously as a grandmother, but she speaks of herself to you. I'm so proud you are my mother, and that will always be the way it is.
Oh, God love her. Cheryl, thank you so much for giving us
Thank you.
opportunity to work with you, my darling. God bless you. Now, guys, we are just going to go into a short ad break. Don't go nowhere, because we'll be back in a couple of minutes' time, and then we'll make some more connections with your past loved ones, family and friends. See you in a couple of minutes.
Tomorrow afternoon from 1 p.m, Sam O'Neill hosts her fortnightly show offering free rune readings. Join Ashley Robinson tomorrow night from 8 p.m. Ashley offers his spiritual philosophy while answering your questions.
That's what's coming up on SPTV tomorrow, guys. And I know that we've got a special announcement as well with regards to a demonstration of mediumship. And that's with our lovely Matt and Kirsty and Deb Clark. And that's in December, I believe, is it not, Richard? December, yep, December the 2nd, and there are only 10 remaining tickets. So if you're interested in going along, I believe it's in Fareham, and you're local to that area, Fareham, and you're local to that area, then follow the prompt that you're probably seeing on screen now with regards to obtaining your tickets. And all three of those lovely mediums will be looking forward to welcoming you on the evening. So thank you very much, guys.
Lovely. Well, I don't know Matt or Kirsty, but I've seen Deb's work. Excellent
Deb's
work.
phenomenal, isn't she? She's lovely. Matt and Kirsty are equally just as
brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great ambassadors for Spirit. And they have their own show here on SPTV, which is on a Monday at 8 o'clock. Yeah, good. So there we go. Right, so shall we just say a couple more hellos before we make another connection with somebody's loved one here this evening?
Sure.
Absolutely. We just got a bit of feedback from Cheryl there, just saying thank you. You're welcome, Cheryl. Thank you for allowing us to work in your energies, my lovely. And she's just saying thank you to everyone in chat. Really needed that message. Been a tough few weeks. You see, that's what I was saying to you about the community feel. And again, she's giving you an acknowledgement there. Thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
Really means the world.
Cheryl, I'm so happy that I'm able to do this on your behalf.
Bless her. So who else have we got here with us? Producer Richard. Thank you very much. Fast and Furious. Here we go. Casey Tanner watching via YouTube.
And Vicky CH watching by Facebook.
Yeah,
hey Vicky.
We've got Pamela Watson who joins us via Facebook there as well this evening.
Daniel Brooks on Facebook. Okay. Emma. Oh, hello, Emma.
Emma on my
partner's
account.
I beg your pardon.
See, they throw a spanner in the works with us sometimes, these viewers.
Yeah.
We've got the lovely Sophie Nodwell who's joining via Facebook and putting lots of beautiful love hearts up there as well.
Yeah, and lots of Debbie Kerr watching on Facebook also.
And Lulu's watching via Facebook as well. Again, lots more love hearts there.
Maya Z or Maya Z, I don't know, watching on YouTube.
Sheena Mary Elaine, who's watching via YouTube.
Fiona Rosen, watching on Facebook also. All right.
Christine Davies, come on, Dad. Oh, bless her.
Yeah. Donna, hi. Never. Okay. Let us see. Are you drawn to anyone there, Bill Hughes?
Well, Susan Brothwood Hughes. Do you know what I'm getting straight away? I don't know I'm going to, but I'm gonna place it with them as soon as I know where I'm going. All I keep getting is this gentleman singing to me, "Is this the way to Amarillo?"
Oh my
Is this the way to
gosh.
Amarillo? So I know I just want to bring the essence. Oh, I don't know the rest of the words, Richard, and I'm not going to even attempt to sing it because I want to retain the viewers here this evening. I don't want to scare them away. But I know it's just trying to bring out an understanding within my mind here that, you know, he had a really bubbly character. He was full of life. He was very, very happy. I don't want to be downtrodden or downbeaten with him by any means whatsoever. So I'm just going to go through and see where it is that I feel drawn to on here with the names of these lovelies that are coming up. Okay.
Can I
Go
just
on.
add? I feel he's a very charitable man. Do you see? And someone who would do kindness to others, but didn't need, you know, that validation. You know, we need. So I just feel he's a background worker. I'm not really sure why I'm saying that, but even though he's vivacious and full of life, he did a lot of stuff in the background that many didn't know about.
Let's go to Wendy Watson.
Okay.
Wendy Watson, hope it's my dad. Yeah, I certainly, as you say about that charitable feeling, do you know, he was the type of individual that went above and beyond any
Yes.
expectation, and I don't just want to say as a parent, I want to say as a good all-round family member. He went above and beyond any expectations because it was all about doing good. And do you know what? I want to drop this into Wendy's lap at this moment in time as well, because I feel as though she's really striving to do the best by everybody that's around her. I do feel a great sense with him as he starts to give this information to me. I do feel a little bit inundated. I do feel as though, yeah, my dad was very charitable. Great. I do feel a little bit inundated. I do feel as though I'm stretching myself far too much. I just want to start clawing things back. I want to start bringing things back into more of a focused perspective. Again, he's affecting the way that I'm talking here. But he's also giving me a great sense of dryness within my mouth. So I know that there was dehydration issues with him before he went spirit side, God love him. I also feel with him as well that I've got a great sense of a density to my head. I don't know whether or not he would have suffered with bad types of migraines, or there was more of a condition that I need to be acknowledging within the head here that would have again taken in spirit side there, Wendy. So again, please do just work with myself and Susan and give us the feedback as we're going through the vein of your message there for you, my lovely. I want to say with him that I feel as though I want to be a little bit more rounded. Don't want to put him on the large side of life, Susan, but I just want to feel a little bit more rounded. I want to go into my tummy area. I want to have a little bit of a protruding belly with this gentleman. You know, one that would kind of like just pop out somewhat.
A punch.
A punch. But it's because I liked my food, he's saying to me. He liked his grub, you would understand. He really liked a good old nosh up. And very traditional, simplistic meals as well. I feel that I have to be serving with this gentleman. I don't want nothing too fancy. Yes to the headaches. Thank you very much, Wendy. God bless you. Wendy, can you also take the understanding that he makes me feel as though I want to say that old-fashioned saying that when they take one away, they replace with another. And I feel as though I need to acknowledge that there would have been a birth of a baby boy. Yes, he had a beer belly, and you've got to put a giggly emoji there. I feel as though I need to acknowledge a baby boy that would have come onto the earth plane shortly after he would have made his transition to spirit. And very simple meals, thank you. And I do feel as though I want to say he's been here before. He's an old soul as this child is beginning to grow. So again, just let me know if that relates and you can understand what it is that he means by that, please, my lovely. And can you also understand as well, please, would you be able to take that he would have had tattoos on his upper arm here, please? Because he's just wanting to give me an understanding of inking or tattoos on the upper arm. If it's not with him, then I need to acknowledge this to either yourself or someone closely, directly linked to you with regards to maybe wanting inking, just had an inking. But again, he just places that in my mind for a reason there. And I want to give you the colour red as well. He just keeps saying to me, red, red, red. So I know that this must be a colour of significance that would connect with regards to either floral tributes that he's just bringing within my mindset here, or indeed you would connect to the colour red in some shape or form that's very evident within your life at this moment in time. Your grandchild is Reggie. So Reggie is an old soul, you would understand, and there must have been some type of discussion where you've all said within the family at some stage, he's been here before, not just after he's passing, but we just had a baby boy in family named after him. Yes, tattoos on the arm. Perfect. I'm going to hand over to Susan.
Well, I agree with all of that, and I was really getting a sense of this man, and I really felt he really makes his presence known when he wants to make his presence known, but he disappears when he doesn't want to be around. So he's there 1 second and he's gone the next. And with the meals, I just got a very strong smell of stew. It's like a pot of stew. It's just constant. In my family growing up, that would have been the case because there was a lot of us. So, you know, and he wouldn't be thrown out until he has ate it all. Do you know, that kind of way? So this man is thrifty. He, you know, he's not mean in any way, but thrifty and careful. And when you spoke about the red, I saw the poppy. I have to say that because I know Poppy Day is coming up for you in Britain. And I just felt, again, this sense of pride and this sense of service. And whilst I don't see him in the army or anything, I see him of service, do you see? So, but that's what and I just wondered, was that relevant to this connection as well? If not, it's within the family, definitely within the family, that sense of pride. Now, this is our father, is that correct? My mind wandered there a minute, so yes, I know his mind wandered. Do you see? Because I kind of got focused and then it wandered off. Then, and a really intelligent, quick mind. So it was sad that this should have occurred to him, but he never completely lost it. You see, he never completely lost it, because sometimes he'd be like, I can't see you, and he can, you know, that kind of way. So he would play games, but not nasty games. So I know, again, he's very aware of his name being carried on, and that is the pride of him as well, the pride of the family, because the name, and it's not just the first name, it's the surname that has the pride attached to it. Yes, lots of stew, 8 kids. You see, this is what I was seeing. Lots of people in stew, and never throwing it out until it's all eaten. Now, the other thing that I kind of want to deal with here is his walk. He had a very purposeful walk. He was in the services, was he? That's brilliant, because I just have this sense of pride, you know, but he had a very purposeful walk. Like I could almost hear his feet touching the ground when he had to go somewhere. It was with purpose, and then he'd kind of turn around and make a funny face and then get back to the purpose, you know. So he wasn't overly serious about himself always, but when he got caught up in that seriousness, he could get deep. What do you think on that, Bill? Because I feel sometimes he could just have slipped off into that deepness and it was hard to pull him back out.
Yeah, it's funny you were saying with regards to the purpose of the walk, because for me, at this moment in time, I can hear him behind me, but he's shuffling, and it's like I want to say to him, pick your feet up. So I know that this must have been something that was evident when he was here on the earth plane, again, towards those later stages of his life, where whether or not it was Wendy or indeed other family members, pick your feet up, because I feel that he was shuffling, and I feel as though there would have been little trips, or there would have been little stumbles that he just wants to bring to the forefront of my mind there as well.
Yeah, and the stumbling was of the mind as well, and that upset him, because he was a very clear thinking man. Educated. I get education with him, in that he gave power to his knowledge. I think that's what I want to say. He gave power to his knowledge, and there's wisdom in everybody, whatever way we want to choose to look at it. But this man had wisdom. He has wisdom. And you spoke about that child, that old soul. Your father was an old soul as well. Do you see? So there is that lovely interconnection there too as well. Can I just say to Wendy, you're very like your dad. I wanted to, because you have that sense of pride, you have that sense of family, you have that sense of let's pull together on this, because your dad pulled everyone together. And I know your fear was that everything would fall apart when he passed, but it hasn't. He's still helping you pull this. It's a like that. You've taken on that role. You've taken on that role, and he's saying, look, I'm with you on this. Don't get, because your father got overly serious about a few things, and he's helping you not do that. Just keep it, when serious is serious and not so serious is not so serious. Keep those boundaries. I think he's helping you put boundaries into the overworked and over-worrying mind of yours, Wendy.
Yeah, bless him. I know just before I send him back up to the angels there, a bit of feedback. Yes, very close
lovely
family, absolutely. Before I send him back up to the angels, I know it sounds quite cliche, because as soon as Halloween's over, everything kicks into the mode of Christmas. But he just brings a sense of that into the forefront of my mind here at this moment in time, Susan. And I feel I need to say to Wendy, we need to slow down with regards to going a little bit too far ahead of ourselves with everything that we want to change this Christmas. You want to change everything. You want to change the colour themes. In fact, I feel as though I need a new tree, because what he's showing me is an artificial. I don't want a fresh tree in your home, Wendy. I want a new artificial one, you would understand. But I want something where the lights are built in and they colour change LED, because it just shows that to me within my mind as well. The bonkers of information we get sometimes, Susan.
It is, yeah.
Phenomenal, isn't it? So I know that I just want to slow you down and just say to you, you know what we've got's good enough. And I feel that that's the way that Dad would have been. He wasn't one of these that was a very disposable individual. He really appreciated what it was that he had within life. And, if you could get another year out of it, get another year out of it. So I know that there's a sense of there being a familiarity within that message. And there you go. Yes, just talking to my daughter about the Christmas tree.
It shows that they're watching, listening,
100%.
watching,
To remember what he says here, Wendy, if you can get another year out of it, get another year out of it. And with that, I'm going to leave my love with you. I don't know if there's anything that Susan would like to close off with this message.
I just one thing as we were closing down that communication, he just had his own mug, didn't he, Wendy? His own mug, his own tea. Nobody could make better tea or coffee than he could, so he made it for himself. So he says he kind of cheers you with his mug. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
Do you know? And he's still working away here. God love him. He's just put an old-fashioned bloomer loaf in my mind. He's cut off this massive big chunk of bread. He's doing a fried slice here, Wendy. But what he's doing with me is he's cutting out the centre of the bread, and he's breaking an egg into the slice of the bread.
I like that.
I know that this must have been something that he liked. He's saying to me, don't forget the bread and dripping as well. But you would understand why he's just brought that into the forefront of my mind as well. Two lovely parting gifts for you there, my darling. I'm going to say God bless you. And thank you for allowing myself and Susan to work with you. God bless you.
Thank you.
That was a lovely communication. Lovely communication.
Okay. Yeah.
So we've got lovely Tonya, who's joining us here this evening via
Tonya Lincoln's Gross.
Lincoln's Gross. Okay. Yeah.
Lincoln's Gross. Yes, very nice. That's a lovely name.
Beautiful name. Thank you for holding space and being here, my darling. Who else have we got with us? We've got Aileen Fado. Okay. Yeah. Say that again, please, Richard. You broke up. So
Yeah, that's what I was reading it as. And you know, it's interesting because where do we hear the voices? Where do we sense these things? Yeah, it's mind to mind. So if you're having a conversation, you're having a conversation, do you see? And you know, I think sometimes when we were training years ago, when we were training to tell the difference between a spirit and our mind, we'd ask the spirit to change the clothing. You see, because it's an active live interaction. So I would say to you, Aileen, just try to believe. Just try to believe, because they work so hard to bring their energy to us. So just say thank you, and say thank you. And then the next time when you do have that chat again, it becomes stronger. So belief is hard. We get it. It's really hard unless you have specific proof, but it's difficult. I just wonder, your dad is someone who is always with you. The energy of our loved ones is always with us. It's when we sit down in those quiet moments to connect with them that we kind of go, oh, that's mad. That's not real. But then a song will come on the radio to say it is real. It'll connect you to it. So you will get extra validation to assist you in that belief.
absolutely, and it will come in at the most in the most unexpected times as well. I don't know if you encountered that when you were first opening up spiritually there yourself, Susan, but for me, I think sometimes I tried too hard. I wanted it to happen so much that I think I was probably overthinking things. Whereas when we just go deeper within ourselves, where we sit within that silence, we sit within that power, we take that time out, which is our time, whether that be 5 minutes, whether that be half an hour, whether that be to soft meditation music, or just the stillness and silence within our home. Those are the times for me that I found I got the most unexpected messages and forms of communication that would drop in with spirit. So Aileen, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, and forgive me, my lovely. Aileen, you are a medium and can read for many people, but for myself, it's really hard to know if it's actually happened. So I get confused. Absolutely.
Do you know what I call those moments you were speaking of? There's cheese sauce moments, when all you have to do, you just have to concentrate on this cheese sauce and keep stirring it, and you know, and then in drops, you know, I can't remember the name of that song, can't remember it, and you're stirring away at the cheese sauce, and in it comes, because that space is open now. So it's hard. It is hard, but believe, Aileen, believe. Yeah.
Absolutely. Take that time out for you, my lovely. Just
and it's hard to get a message for ourselves, you know.
Yeah, it is hard to get a message for ourselves. I mean, I feel that as we're getting more messages just feeding through, and we're building up this rapport with Eileen, I want to go straight into my throat area. So I don't know if there would have been issues in and around throat area of Dad here that you would be able to relate to, my lovely, or indeed if this is something significant that's going on in and around yourself at this moment in time. But I'm certainly getting a sense of being drawn and pulled into that. Or indeed, you know, we've just been speaking about mediumship and understandings. So there could be an influence here with regards to wanting to be a little bit more vocal with your own abilities that he may be dropping in to my mind as I'm opening myself up somewhat there as well. But I do get a great sense as I'm starting to build up this energy and starting to get a sense of him coming in behind me. I do get a great sense that he would have been somebody who was a very methodical mind, because I'm processing things and breaking them down, and I'm working things out. So again, I don't know if I'm going into Dad's form of work, what he would have done when he was here on the earth plane, where he would have had to process information, break it down, made it more simplistic. I also have something on, you're having tests on your own throat too. Okay, that's why I was getting that sense there. And talk to me with regards to this methodical approach to what I perceive to be work. A slimmer build gentleman, again, who sits quite comfortably within my frame here. He just wants to show me like khaki colours. So I feel as though he would have been quite fond of wearing, like, you know, the beiges and the dark brown colours and the khaki colour clothing here, Susan. He just pulls that within my mindset there as well. And do you know what he kept doing as well? Yes, he was always doing different jobs. And the other thing that he keeps doing with me is he keeps tickling my chin. He's just having a play here. And I feel as though this would have been something that he would have done. Not just to you, though, I feel I need to say.
You like that, yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
as though this would have been something significant that he'd done, just, you know, a little like smooch up. That's where I feel I'm going with it. Yes, he was slim. Yes, we had a beige car, his first ever car. No, the
Lovely,
beige was
yeah.
certainly within the clothing. I'm not going to try and make that fit into anything differently. I'll stay true to what it is that he shares with me. But talk to me about this as well, what he was doing with the chin. And we're just going to hand over to Susan to see what it is that she can pick up and share with you.
Yeah. When you were talking earlier on, as you keep talking, my tongue suddenly got really, really thick there as I started blending back in with this gentleman. But my mouth got really, really dry as opposed to my throat. So again, I then of course my mind comes in, diabetes, things like that. But I just had terrible dryness that just never went away. I don't know if it's medication that's causing it, and I feel a little bent, you see, with them as well. So I know that again. And again, I'm clutching my stomach. So I know there was a lot of discomfort here with him. And he, you know, he's a very independent man, isn't he, Aileen? Very independent, liked his own mind, liked his own way. And I'm going to say this, also had the knowing. He also knew stuff, and it's very difficult in certain circumstances to share with these instincts. Yeah, there you go. So she used to do that with when her daughter was a baby. Now the other thing he must have, it's either like a briefcase or a special case or something where he kept papers or he kept things that were important, because he was always losing them. So we try and keep them all in the one place, a box or a briefcase or something like that. But of course he'd still lose stuff. He'd still lose stuff. And what I like about him, that he never got hung up too much on anything. He'd work through, oh, look, leave it now. He was able to leave things and move forward. So, and I feel that's part of the message that's forming for you here, Aileen, that sometimes we just have to leave things, just leave them be, leave them alone, and just move on and let that all sort itself out, because we can't do it, we can't change it, and that's the way we have to do it. Okay, so he wore many different colored clothes because he worked with different things, and you're being tested for diabetes. All right, so that's where I was getting that then. So we're not medics, so we can't say whether it is or isn't. Yes, a case, because yeah, always losing the stuff. That's what I feel. But his mind, and people who lose things like that, their minds are so full of everything else. That's why that happens. So, you know, he'd be doing one thing and thinking of starting the next thing, and so busy. Yeah, hard work, absolutely.
I don't know if he's working with me symbolically here or if he wants to take me down memory road, but what I want to do is I just want to go down to the water's edge and I want to start skimming stones with this gentleman. I want to just take stones and start skimming them across the water here. So I know that he's just trying to draw the essence of, again, please confirm for me, my lovely, whether or not this would have been something that he done with you, or indeed symbolically he's just working within my mind with regards to skimming these stones and tossing things across the water. So it's almost as though I want to say that we need to acknowledge to get rid of the old, just throw it out.
Yes.
Okay. We no longer need to carry any more additional baggage, you would understand, my lovely. And that's what he just gave me as a sense, as he was just beginning to start to pull his energies back. He placed the taste of butterscotch within my mouth, you know, like Werther's Originals. So I know that I would have been fond of a butterscotch sweet with this gentleman. Again, I'm going to drop that into Eileen's lap and await her feedback. He never got to meet my son, and I didn't get to say goodbye, so that's always stuck with me. Oh, God bless you. Well, you know, as well as we do here, yes, was always busy. We always used to throw stones, and my son was doing it last week in the sea. There you go. So again, it's another bit of validation that they are always by our side.
Yes,
absolutely.
Caring for us.
So we're going to leave his love with you.
Can I just say one more thing? Sorry, Aileen, because I just hope this is important to you, because he shows me a wasp's nest, you see, and he says the wasp's nest is fine. It's fine, leave it be. But if you go poking it with a stick, you're in trouble. So again, don't poke certain things with sticks. That's what I say.
How lovely.
Okay.
We're going to leave his love there with you.
Thank
yes,
you,
we're
Aileen.
getting rid of baggage at the moment. Yes, he loved those sweets. Well, there you go, my lovely.
Good.
Take his love. And as I say, know that he's always walking by your side. I am so conscious. Yes, Richard? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Cole Siskethu. First time here, I'm unsure how it works, but I'm just in extreme hopes for a message from my mama today. It's very important, and it's been a very long time, please. God bless you, Cole. First time viewer, you're very, very welcome to the channel. The way that we work as mediums, it's the way that we're drawn, or whom it is that we're drawn to working with. So not everybody, sadly, will get a message every time they tune in. But I'm sure that what you've just listened to with regards to the message we've just shared, or the messages that we've just shared there, that you will be able to take little pieces of something from each and everybody else's words that have been shared and take them and make them fit within your own mind at this moment in time. And that's Spirit's way of reaching not just one person, but many others. Sadly, I've not felt a draw or a connection with you here this evening, but that doesn't mean to say that if you don't come back to the channel and watch some of the other shows, that you won't get another medium that's drawn to you. But do know your loved ones are around you. They surround you with love all the time. And as I say to everybody that asks me the one question, I'm sure you get it as well, Susan, they're only in the room next door. It's literally a room next door.
Right here.
Absolutely. So I hope that answers your question. And no, they're not going to do your washing up, producer Richard. So I'm conscious that we've come to time. Susan, it has been so lovely to work with you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy here on the channel and with the show. Once again, where is it that everybody can find you on Facebook?
It is Susan Hughes Spiritual Medium, and on the web it's www.susanhughesmedium.com.
So please do check Susan out, give her page a like and a follow, guys. And you can also find me on Facebook, Bill Hughes, Psychic Medium. And I'm sure that my
no relation.
So guys, thank you so much for being here, for holding space this evening. God bless to each and every single one of you for sharing us out there, for tagging your family and your friends. I'll be back with you in 2 weeks' time. But until then, may the love and the light of Spirit be with each and every single one of you. Good night. God bless. And once again, Susan, thank you so much.
Most welcome. Loved it. Yeah, thank you.
Night, everyone. God bless.